fantasy. No, we're not talking about your bedroom plans. No, we're not talking about Aldo Nova. It's Fantasy Football Spotlight here on NFL Weekly Predictions. I'll be with you every week doing a Fantasy Football Spotlight. We're going to kind of do a different focus every week, and eventually, hopefully, we'll start having live feedback and live calls when we get to that point. This week, we are going to spotlight players who are undervalued that can be had cheap. Now, I realize that at this point, most of you have already drafted. Some of you have not. This is going to be of special importance to you. And also, these are guys that you may be able to trade for and not have to give up relatively a lot to get them. These are guys that are going to perform and kind of flying under the radar. I'm going to break it down by position, okay? First of all, quarterback. Don't give up on Drew Brees just because he's gotten older. He looked really good last year at age, 41? He's going to be 42 now, or I don't see any reason why he can't put up a productive season just because you don't get one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks like Jackson or Mahomes or Prescott. You don't need to cry in your beer. Pick Drew Brees. Be happy with it. Tom Brady, another one. You cannot underestimate how good of a season Tom Brady is going to have. He's going to be more productive than he was last year. Yes, I understand he's getting older, but with the supporting cast he has, barring injury, Brady's going to put up numbers. Carson Wentz, kind of touched on him earlier. Philly's got a lot of good options out there. They're flying under the radar. Wentz is going to have a good year. Here's one that is probably sitting on your waiver wire, or could be. All right, so this is a guy to think about. Ryan Tannehill. Titans are not the greatest team, but they're going to be competitive. Tannehill was an all-star the back half of last year. Don't sleep on it. Also, Cincinnati, we've got a exciting young quarterback coming over. Rookie class, Joe Burrow. Cincinnati, again, nice stable of receivers. And Burrow is going to be throwing the ball a lot. I mean, a lot. So if you are looking for a solid Rookie of the Year candidate, Burrow's your guy. We're going to move on to wide receiver. Courtland Sutton. This is a guy I'm really big on this year. Cannot stress it enough. You want Courtland Sutton. If you drafted him in your fantasy league, congratulations. Kudos to you. Also, Terry McLaurin. Another guy that is a rookie coming into this season, supposed to have extreme speed. And I think he's going to be a really good deep threat. He's going to put up a lot of catches. And Metcalf, DK Metcalf. This is a guy that everybody is totally undervaluing. I don't see any reason why he won't put up really good numbers for you. Boyd out in Cincinnati, another one. And Jerry Jeudy, another rookie guy coming in for Denver this year. And they've got a lot of people that are going to catch the ball, but Jeudy is going to be one of these guys that doesn't get implemented a lot in the first few weeks. But by the time you get to week 6, 7, he's going to be they're going to be relying on him more. And I think the back half of next year, you're going to see Jerry Jeudy really be a standout. He's going to end up being a dark horse Rookie of the Year player. Christian Kirk, also, if you get really desperate, if you really need like maybe that 4th wide receiver to be beefed up on your roster, somebody, that is a slight upgrade, someone he is statistically consistent, and he hardly ever misses games. So you want Christian Kirk. Running back, Singletary. Devin Singletary from Buffalo. I know everyone's talking about the hot new rookie coming in for Buffalo, running the ball, Zach Moss. He's got to prove it. Singletary is still the man, I believe, out there. He looked great last year. Raheem Mostert in San Francisco. Montgomery in Chicago. Sony Michel is going to be productive, I believe. This is a second-year player, and he's going to get a lot of play. Tight end, Gronkowski. Yes, he's old. Yes, he missed an entire season. Gronk's going to come back. He's going to do just fine, as long as he stays healthy, and that's a big if. So take my advice. If you're going to get Gronkowski in your fantasy team, if you're looking at him as your starter, make sure you have a competent backup. Think about these guys. Mike Gesicki, Dolphins. He was a real force. Again, back half of last year, the Dolphins put it together. They won, 6 out of their last 8, I believe. Yeah, Gesicki is a guy on the way up. Jonnu Smith, Tennessee, another guy you want. This is a tight end that's probably sitting on a lot of your waiver wires. I mentioned Tannehill earlier. Jonnu Smith could end up being the best tight end in football by the end of the year in fantasy. And Dallas Goedert. I understand that the Eagles have plenty of good tight ends, but Dallas Goedert, even in being the second tight end, he's going to get a lot of play. I'm hearing that the Eagles are going to be using a lot of 2 tight end sets, so don't sleep on Dallas Goedert. He might be on your waiver wire right now. As far as kickers, I like Josh Lambo. I think this is a guy that's really underrated. Jong Hong Koo and also Elliott is also another good pick at kicker. But really, when it comes to kickers, if you don't get one of the first 3 or 4, it's not a whole lot of difference between the rest of them. Defense, New Orleans. That's definitely, they did a great job last year. It's interesting to me that New Orleans defense is as good as it is, considering that their offense is always putting up points. But for some reason, the defense manages to hang in there. And even though they're not known for their defense is underrated. Consider New Orleans. Kansas City, another good defense people are sleeping on a little bit. And dark horse, as far as a decent defense this year, Tennessee. So that's your fantasy spotlight for week 1. And we'll be right back to discuss our week 1 picks.